So again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight for our MIC monthly meditation. And it is our joy and privilege to have with us tonight Sister Pat Farrell, who's a Dominican sister of San Rafael. She is the hosting manager of Santa Sabina Center and is a trained meditation teacher, spiritual director, and retreat leader, and has served in her congregational leadership and most recently was executive director of the Dominican Sisters Conference. She's a member of Sophia Zen Sangha and enjoys sharing how Zen and Christianity complement each other. So I hope you, with your heart, welcome me with great joy and join me with great joy in welcoming Sister Pat as our meditation leader tonight. And Sister Pat, I think
I just did, yes.
Great.
Got the little message. So thank you, Scott, for that introduction. I appreciate it. And I'm happy to be here this evening. It is nice to be back in the Bay Area. I moved back here from Chicago in, it was the end of May when I got here. So it's good to be home. So as Scott mentioned, I'm a Dominican sister and I'm also the member of a Zen Sangha. Now that might seem like a contradiction of terms to some, but I assure you that there are and have been many Catholic sisters and priests who have practiced Zen and other forms of meditation that are not considered to be Christian. There's many books that discuss how these two spiritualities blend, or better, complement one another. And the title of one of these books expresses well what I have experienced over the years, and that is of the theologian Paul Knitter, his book, Without the Buddha, I Couldn't Be a Christian. Now, while I don't think I'd express it as strongly as that, I have found that Buddhism has provided practical tools that have helped me to practice my Christian faith better. But right now, what I would like for us to do is to concentrate on our meditation experience this evening, which we have, I just want to mention a little commercial at Santa Sabina Center. We have Monday evening meditations at Santa Sabina Center online. This is a different kind of experience than what we have online. This is what I will explain, Zazen or Shikantaza. Now, after our session, I'm happy to entertain questions about both our meditation experience and my experience with Zen. While there are many ways to meditate among Buddhists, primary practice in my Soto Zen Sangha is Zazen, which simply means sitting meditation. Another word for our meditation practice in Soto Zen is Shikantaza, which means only precisely sitting. So they're great sounding words, but the definitions don't sound so very special, do they? Just sitting. And while it sounds simple, because we all know how to sit, how often do we actually just sit? No coffee, no reading or writing material, no phone, just sit. That's what you do. Most of us only can think of a few moments in the last year when we spontaneously settled into the moment and let go entirely of thoughts of past or future. Usually those are moments of leisure, and perhaps this past year may be too stressed to even imagine such moments. In Zazen, we practice settling into the present moment regularly, whenever we remember to do so, and no matter what is going on, without judgment or effort to change things or analyze them. It might seem that just sitting there is boring, and so sometimes the instructor experience being bored. How can it be boring when the whole universe sits with us and all of the truths of our human life, of our own personal human lives, are available to us as we sit there? Now, the important thing, in Zazen, we take our best possible posture of body and mind, upright, an upright back, seated stably, being alert and still. And then we pay attention. We allow ourselves to be the witness of our thoughts and feelings. Now, ordinarily, we have a tendency to judge our thoughts. Silence equals good. Internal verbiage, oh, that's bad. Awareness of the present, well, that's good. And thinking about past or future, that's bad. Calm equals good, agitation equals bad. Yet in Zazen, there's no judging, there's no scolding, there is no good meditation. We can't get up from our chair afterwards and say, oh, that was a good one. No, there is no good meditation. There is no bad meditation. There is only what is. So for our meditation time, I will ring a bell to start our time. And I ask you to simply sit and pay attention to what you do. And periodically, I'm assuming that many of the folks here may not have practiced this particular type of meditation. I will quietly remind us that if our minds have wandered, it's all right. Just let it come back to paying attention, no judging, but to come back simply to sitting and being with what is. Now, does anybody have any questions about the process? Now, we'll talk about the experience later, but I just want to check in and see if everybody understands the process. Okay, well, I don't see any hands raising. We will, and I wanted to let you know that you may not, if you're looking at the screen, you may not see me at some point because I have a standing desk. And so for this, I think I will sit down at least from time to time, unless I'm getting up to just do a little reminder. So. If your mind is drifted to remembering or planning, that's okay. Just notice that that is what your mind has done and come back to now. If your thoughts have drifted, that's okay. Just come back to observing those thoughts and being with them calmly. If your thoughts have drifted, you can come back to watching your thoughts, your breath, your body. It's okay to drift and it's okay to come back. think I'm going to put this on gallery so I can see everybody.
Well, thank you, Sister Pat. And before we turn to everyone, I'm just wondering, as you have shared with us this very luscious time of meditation, if you might share a little bit more about how your Soto Zen Buddhist practice and your Christian practice complement each other.
Well, it's been an interesting journey because before, many years ago, when I was still living in the Bay Area, I became connected with the Vipassana tradition through the folks at Spirit Rock. And for a few years, maybe it was a couple of years, I used to go see Sylvia Boorstein. I'm sure some of the folks here know Sylvia, and I really looked to her as a wonderful teacher. And I would practice the meditation, and I think that along with the practice of the Vipassana meditation, and particularly the metta meditation of which is a wonderful way of experiencing loving kindness for oneself and for others. What I discovered in that was that these were some tools, and some of the teachings of Buddhism were tools that I was able to use in my own Christian practice, and in understanding how to live more freely and more accepting of myself. That's probably the best. Learn to love myself better is probably what I learned through meditation and through learning to follow what my mind was doing, and become free of this idea that I have this bad mind thinking bad thoughts, because, well, mind does what mind does. And I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my feelings. And this was the beginning of an understanding. And was a little over 6 years ago when I moved to Chicago and was the director of this national organization. I became involved with a local Zen center, and eventually got connected with another one, strangely enough, in Wisconsin, where Paula, who's my teacher, it's been a real journey of deepening, of finding peace, and that's really, it's not kind of like one day I found Buddhism and that was it. It's been a journey, and it's also been, as I study different things in Buddhism, I see the connections to things that I have learned in Christianity. I'll read something in a teaching, and I remember something from the Psalms or something from the Gospels. And if I'm in church and I hear a homily and it's connected to the Gospels, I think of something that I've learned in Zen. And so there's always this interplay that happens that I find. So.
Thank you so much, Sister Pat. So,
I haven't thought about that. It's truly been an honor to be with all of you. I wish we could gather in person, and this works. This helps us, and so thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being with us. Blessings and love, everybody.